So these are the features that all women love. And I'm going to give you one feature that all women don't love. So the good news is these are features that any man can develop if they don't have. So you can only do so much with what God gave you, your physical being, and you can do a little bit with that, of course. And yes, women do appreciate a man who is healthy and fit and even societally attractive, but those are not the most important features to women. Men and women are different this way. Men are, but you're more visual, so you assume that women are more visual as well. And even though we notice, there are other traits that are more important to us. So if you want to win the heart and other parts of the woman of your dreams, then these are the things you want to pay attention to. So of course, the first thing is confidence. Confidence is often confused with arrogance or even aggression, but it's not. It's not about being aggressive or being arrogant or being cocky. Sometimes those qualities can come across as being confident because it does take a level of confidence to portray those things. However, it's not that kind of confidence that is a trait that all women love. It's the kind of confidence where you're just okay with who you are and your opinions and where you stand in the world and your capabilities within the world. So it's really more about your certainty in the world, and bonus point if you have some sense of certainty with women. So of course, if you watch my videos, especially my playlist on understanding women, you are going to have a greater knowledge and therefore a greater confidence and certainty about your understanding of women, which is a big turn on. Okay, number 2, leadership qualities. So women value a man who can lead. Now, this doesn't mean, again, that he is a Mr. Bossy Pants or that he doesn't give her any consideration in providing input, but he is capable of and steps up to taking the lead both in the relationship and in life. So if there's a task that needs to be done, no one's stepping up, he's stepping up to do it in his work. Or if there's something that needs to be organized in a social activity and nobody's stepping up, he's stepping up either to do it or to organize it or to direct and delegate things that need to be done. But it means that he leads the relationship, she paces the relationship. So he will lead her, but not pace. So he's not going to rush her to the next step, but he's also not going to wait for her. And you'll understand a little bit more about how these play out as I go through some of the other traits that all women love. Okay, next one on the what makes a real man to her is bravery. Courage is what allows for heroism. So you can't be courageous or brave if you're not afraid. So bravery is about facing your fears and pushing through them to accomplish whatever you need to accomplish as a man. And what this might look like is asking for the raise, or perhaps quitting your job, or perhaps starting your own business. Like, this is all in one particular area, but it also might be, if you need to look at getting your health on track and, working with a trainer or seeing a dietitian or taking some kind of, again, leadership, but also courageous step towards doing something that is out of your comfort zone. Maybe you need to take singing lessons, or maybe you need to do something that someone else, maybe the world at large, they might judge you in some kind of perceived negative way. So if you're brave, you step through that because it's important to you. No matter what area of your life it's in, you are brave enough to go through the consequences or to face the consequences of taking action. And again, this doesn't mean that you're not asking for her input or allowing her to encourage and support you emotionally, but you can't be leaning on her completely because otherwise she's going to go into mommy mode. Can't be in attraction mode if she's in mommy mode. So that's why you need to be the brave one most of the time. Okay, number 4. So to be a real man to her, a feature that all women love, even if they say they don't, even if they react poorly when you do this, is being able to say no to her. A woman needs you to be able to say no to her. If you can't stand up to her, you can't stand up for her. And that's a phrase from Dr. Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy. You might want to grab that book. It's really worthwhile and kind of ties in with the most important trait that you want to avoid. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that at the end here. So I'll put a link below. And the number 5 trait that all women love and that will make you a real man to her in her eyes is resolve. So what is resolve? Resolve is not a kitchen cleaner. Well, it is a kitchen cleaner, but you might not know that. Resolve is the dedication and commitment to do what you know you need to do when you should do it, whether you like it or not. It's your internal resolve, commitment, just dedication to whatever it is that you know you need to do in your life as a man for you and no one else. It doesn't matter if it is something that involves other people or if it's just for yourself, but it is that certainty, especially when it revolves around values or core beliefs, that you know you're not going to compromise on certain standards within yourself. So what does this look like? Well, we could go back to the find a new job or choose a new career or maybe even moving across the country. Once you've decided you're going to do something, you go for it. And again, that doesn't mean you don't take her needs into consideration if that stage of the relationship where you're planning to move forward toward the future together. But it means, okay, I've scheduled that meeting with the boss, or I'm taking that job across the country, I've booked the moving truck, and you have decided you're going to go for it. Or if it's something to do with your health, you've actually made the commitment with the trainer, you've shown up to those classes, or you have found a debt consolidator and are working on figuring out a budget that will work for your life. So it's taking those steps toward the commitment that you've made. So resolve. So what is the feature or trait that is not a trait that women love? It is one of the worst things that you can do. This goes back to Dr. Robert Glover's book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And that's what it is being too nice. If you're too nice in the form of compromising yourself because you think that not having conflict or disagreement in the relationship is what will make her like you, because you think that having things in common or being in agreement all the time makes you more compatible, you're wrong. That is not what women need. They need you to be authentic and real and to only agree when you really agree, which means that in order for her to trust that you're not just agreeing with everything, you need to find things to actually legitimately disagree with her on so that she can see that you've got a backbone. So very, very important. So out of these 5 things, is there any one in particular you know you need to work on? Write it in the comments below. So thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.